out and all this other stuff, right? So it took being able to connect with the Quran and see that, although I've been listening from
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين.
I mean, from birth, my whole life, I've been living with the language, but until I can make the Quranic connection in such a point to bring out all the positive seeds that were planted in me that the other competing voices were trying to beat down, that I truly made a momentous leap. And the way Qasim taught inspired me. He inspired me to study the Quran, learn the Quran. He inspired me to study Imam's language. I'm going to start pulling up transcripts from 78 and 79, reading about how Imam had explained wudu, why the right hand, why the left hand, why 3 times. I would go ask the Salafis, they say, because the Prophet said it. Right? They couldn't explain why right, why left, why start with the right hand, why go 3 times, why wash your mouth, why wash your nose, why wash your face. And I'm answering this like this for a reason. Okay? And I was like, okay, even though these people can quote things, all they have is surface knowledge. They don't have deep perception and understanding. And I can quote anything from school. I can quote anything from all those years of psychology, biology, and all that. But it's when it's deep understanding of how you can effectually change human lives, then it makes a difference. Now we're 20 years later. See what happened to all those who pursued those competing ideologies. And see what happened to all those who stayed home. And you compare the difference. Compare what they have produced. Compare their thinking, their common sense intelligence. Then look at those who these other competing ideologies actually pulled away. And you don't even have to say anything. The evidence is there. And now Ahmed can then tell you now how that inspired him, because can I say honestly? Ahmed will come around on Eid. Ahmed had become an Eid Muslim. And his wife, who was a Christian, she was working on him. She was trying to bring him to Jesus Christ. She was working on Ahmed. Look, she was trying to bring you to Jesus Christ, right? So he can tell you his experiences on how he became motivated, how he came back to the community, how he took up the Arabic class, how he got in Imam's class and became the contributor that he always had the potential to be. But then for some reason, something didn't seem appealing. And as long as we ignore this and just explain it away, we're never going to reach individuals like this. But if we're honest with ourselves and analyze it and allow for self-correction, then we can get out of our people that we put all this in. We can get all the gems we've been giving them since they were born and have it come back and serve the purpose that we were given it to. All right. So we're going to go a little over to 3:45. I hope y'all don't mind.
All right, so, all right, always being a worker in the community, that was always a gift. But once I went to college, kind of visited the Masjid, the Imam Qasim was at the Masjid, he had been the Imam when I left Miami, before I left Miami, so coming to where Imam Qasim was, but one, didn't have any wheels, being a freshman college student, it was really hard to get to the Masjid, and then 2, just being on my own. So you always have to kind of have that your own experience, right? So get through college. I think remember Wazir would pick me up every once in a while, so we go to the Masjid. Once I finally got wheels, I taught Arabic class there for a very short period of time. So still kind of some time there, but not really committed. I didn't have a role. I didn't have a position. Even the Arabic class I was teaching wasn't something that was, it was valued by the students who were there, but it didn't feel like I was really contributing. Right? So without that pull of having to be there, having to do something, I kind of gravitated away, got married, a Christian sister, and that further pulled me away, right or wrong. And then when I would come to the Masjid, you know, brothers would charge me up for why we ain't seen you in a while. Okay, well, I ain't come here for all that. I came here to pray. So again, that kind of pushed me away. You know, you weren't asking me for anything, or even when you did ask me for something, it was just you wanted, you know, hey, we have this big program, we need donations, and so that was the only time I was getting called to, when they were having a program that they needed somebody to give some money for. So it kind of turned me off, right and wrong. So I guess a mixture of things happened. One, kind of life hit me. I started having some changes in my life. But two, the biggest thing was that Hurricane Ike came through and destroyed the Masjid to the extent that they needed a project manager. So Imam Wazir hit me at the exact right time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the situation exactly right for me to feel obligated to come back and help. And once I had a role, somebody responsible, you know, I was given a position. Once I had that position of responsibility, somebody looking to me, somebody, you know, calling me, saying, hey, I need you to be here, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. I was locked in. And it was on and popping from that point forward. Because, again, giving that role and that responsibility being within my wheelhouse. He wasn't asking me to start a painting class or to be a public speaker. Because had he asked me to be a public speaker, at that point in time, I would have said no, that's not what I do. He asked me to do something that was within my wheelhouse, that I did as my profession. And so keying on, you know, knowing enough about me to know what it is that I did, and keying on that and say, hey, it's yours. You know, I'm going to be here, I'm going to ask questions, but you have the responsibility for this thing. I'm not going to undermine you in that. I need your advice. And when he hit me with that responsibility and that role, couldn't say no. And then he used that as the hook. And once he had his hook in me, you know, he started reeling me in. You know, so then because I'm always at the Masjid, because I'm always kind of helping with the other programs, this or that and the other, when he asked me to do Juma, kind of hit me blind, but I'm just like, hey, we're about to work, let's do it. All right, so we started doing it. And then after doing one Juma, I'm like, you know what, I kind of need to study a little bit more before I do this again. And so then we started the Imam's class. And the Imam's class would hook me up with other young brothers who were about my same age, who were all interested in doing the same thing. Everybody had different skills. So don't think that everybody got in the Imam's class, became an Imam, and started doing cookbooks. They didn't. Many of us just became workers or leaders, but we were all in it together. And we had this common framework and this common understanding of, all right, we are here because we are trying to move our community forward in this time of adversity. Right? The Masjid being in between Masjids right now, we have this time of adversity. So we not only had to come together to help fundraise and build a Masjid, we also had to help build the community. Because how many people might have, you know, just walked away with, oh, that's just never going to be, you know. So we had to bring people back to the community. We had to hold the community together. So what kept us around, you know, once we got that leadership class, that came the team. He didn't just say it was the leadership team. He didn't just say it was for the Imam. He said, Imam, bring your wives. So he made it a family affair. You know? So everybody had the opportunity to learn and to study. Right? And so then when we went forward, once we got a building, we had to start doing programs. It was that same team. He might have had a couple of programs that he put on us, but if we came to him with an idea, hey, we want to have a social night, we want to have a bowling night, we want to do this, we do that. But no, do it. So we had the free wills. We had the keys to I still got keys to like 5 different masjids. We had the keys to the masjid, you know, and we had that as long as we asked, you know, we set them up, he might we might tool us up a little bit after the program happened, but for the most part, we were given the reins to go ahead and do what we felt like would be the best things to move the community forward. And we were given that right, responsibility, and the freedom to do so. And I think Wally is telling me to wrap up. So.
Well, the Don's telling me to wrap up. Competency facilitates.
He got the patient on the table. You brought the doctor from Houston, the patient's on the table. He got his scalpel, the heart is beating. Right? So
Go ahead. Finish the operation.
So I think Wally's initial question was what worked and what did. So what really worked was kind of bringing us together as a mass, and then giving us the free rein. To be able to not only be doing what he asked us to do, but for us to be able to have programs and have initiatives that were important to us. So some brothers went out and wanted to feed the homeless and started to feed the homeless. Some brothers were really interested in incarcerated brothers. They started a program on free men in the city that was focused on just other people like themselves. Some brothers wanted to start their own masjid and go their own way. So we worked together to help that brother start his own masjid. It wasn't about, it was a total freedom, and we're working together. There was no ego about it. We're all about the work, and whatever moves the community forward, we're cool. Because the other brother wanted to start his own masjid, we were fundraising for him. We helped to build the facility. We helped to give him carpet. And I still attend the programs. I'm still as an AP person when he needs me. It was all love. And it was a very different experience. So what didn't work or what doesn't work is sometimes we get caught up in the movement, sometimes we get caught up in the big picture, and sometimes we forget about the little things that make it work. Sometimes we forget about the social aspect of the people. Sometimes the workers get so caught up in the Masjid's overall program, and we start doing the little things that actually keep making the people come through. So sometimes we as a man, I think that's one of the things we have to focus on. Not only the big picture, but also focus on the social aspect, the family aspect, the community aspect. We have to make that a strong push. And alhamdulillah, we're seeing that happen. But, one of the great things that made the community great, everybody wanted to come through, when we're having program after program, month after month, we're kind of falling off of that because we're doing so many of the big programs. Well, we got to do the big programs and the little programs. And so it's in those little programs that we can pull in other people. Right? So even if you weren't in the first group of the Imam class, or the second group of the Imam class, you can give a small project to somebody else, which is something about what's happening now. But it's not only having the big picture, but also making sure you don't take your foot off the gas in terms of the little things. But you have to have a format that allows for that. You have to have a format. The man who's at the top, who's interested in letting people do things, and you also have in that support staff. You have your administrators, your other people who are in place who can help make sure that any of those events or activities, anything that goes on, can also go on with the same level of professionalism that we've come to expect from the big club. But you have to build that team. You have to train that team.
That's right. So,
No, yes, of course. Trust me.
we will. No. We're gonna
What I wanted to do was to see that there's any additional questions before and having
closing remarks. Start with the sister. Oh, trust me. We good. So, are there any additional questions and comments? Other than that, we will start with our closing remarks with our sisters, and then, as you may have heard already, it's time for Salat, and we will conclude this segment of the program with Salat.
So I'll be very brief. I'll just say that I remember the initial question being, were there any hiccups, any, obstacles in the road, and then how did you overcome them, find out what worked and didn't work? Did I hear that correct?
Or anything else you want to share?
Yeah, so mine's gonna be along that line, but it's gonna be more to the idea that there's always a hiccup in the room. I feel like when you're doing the work, it's never smooth, because you're always asking yourself, how can I take it to the next level? You don't want to become stagnant. So for me, the challenge is fear and doubt. That's mine personally. Everybody has their own thing. So the thing that I think I have to always get over is fear and doubt. Fear and doubt. Others may be, the fear of inability to listen. They may not be able to listen very well. And so that's their struggle. They have to get over it in order to see that progress and keep moving. Others, it may be ego. They may have a really, really big ego, and so they have to always kind of be taming it in order to see the progress and keep going. So for me, it's fear and doubt, and there are a bunch of other things it could be, but I think that the struggle in the work comes the relief. So it's in the act of work, in the act of service, as Ahmad said, he forgot to mention that he married his wife, and that's when he became like awesome on top of awesome. And I would just say it for him, because she's like everything. And he meant it. It was in his eyes, but it would come out his mouth. No, I'm teasing. But I'm serious. So in the work of service, there's always that struggle that needs to sort of overcome yourself, whatever elements of yourself, to keep, going through. So that's what it is.
Alhamdulillah. So I think the motivation that I would say, apparently my voice is quite motivated. I don't know what it is about it. Right? It's just her. But like it, I think one of the biggest motivators when I listened to Wazir, he was talking about Cosmos, and I've said this before, Cosmos, and I moved to Houston, right, so I could study under Cosmos, and I remember going to conferences and I would see him with Wazir, and I'd be like, I want to do that. I was gonna try.